Welcome to Anonymous Tarot. I'm Kleo, and I'm here with my co-host Billie. Today, we're exploring the Ten of Swords, a card that often represents feelings of overwhelming defeat and desperation.
I love how this card can evoke a sense of stillness and silence, Billie. It's as if the weight of our burdens has crushed us, leaving us unable to move or speak.
Yes, the Ten of Swords can be a very heavy card, but it's also a reminder that we're not alone in our struggles. The symbolism of the 10 swords often represents the 10 fingers of the hand, which can be seen as a representation of our connection to others.
I see what you mean about the connection to others, Kleo. But for me, this card also speaks to the idea of being trapped in our own minds. The swords represent our thoughts and emotions, which can be a prison if we are not careful.
That's a powerful interpretation, Billie. The Ten of Swords can also represent feelings of isolation and disconnection from others, which can be especially challenging for those who struggle with mental health issues.
I think that's one of the most important things about this card. It acknowledges that our struggles are valid and that we don't have to face them alone. It's a reminder that we can find support and healing in others.
In many ancient mythologies, the Ten of Swords represents the moment when the hero has fallen, defeated, and broken. The weight of their own darkness, or the burden of their own shadow, has become too much to bear. They lie at the feet of their enemies, symbolizing the collapse of their own strength and will.
I see this card as a representation of the fragmentation of the self. When we are unable to integrate our opposing forces, our psyche can become torn apart, leaving us vulnerable to the attacks of our own mind and the world around us.
This imagery also echoes the myth of Orpheus, who descended into the underworld to reclaim his beloved Eurydice. His failure to do so is often seen as a symbol of the futility of human endeavors to reclaim what has been lost.
I'm drawn to the idea that the Ten of Swords represents a moment of surrender, where we are forced to confront the limits of our own power and control. It's a reminder that sometimes the only way forward is to let go of what's holding us back.
In some traditions, this card is associated with the goddess Inanna, who is said to have been ritually killed by her own people as a way of rejuvenating her power. This sacrifice serves as a reminder that our own darkness can be a source of strength if we're willing to confront and integrate it.
I think this card also speaks to the idea of psychological imprisonment. When we're trapped in our own thoughts and emotions, we can feel like we are carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. The Ten of Swords is a reminder that we have the power to break free from these constraints and find liberation.
In the Ten of Swords, we see a figure laid low, surrounded by 10 sharp swords, each one piercing the heart. This is a deeply symbolic image, reflecting feelings of being overwhelmed, drained, and depleted. We're not just talking about emotional exhaustion, but also physical and mental fatigue.
I think about the word swords. They're not just random blades, but specific instruments, each one with its own unique character. What if each sword represents a different aspect of ourselves that we've been carrying around, weighing us down?
That's a fascinating interpretation, Billie. In many ancient cultures, swords were symbols of masculine energy, aggression, and competition. But here, they're also associated with the feminine principle, receptivity, and protection. This image is both deeply feminine and deeply patriarchal, highlighting the tension between opposing forces.
I see what you mean, Kleo, and I think that's why this card often shows up in dreams. It's a call to look within, to confront the parts of ourselves that we've been trying to suppress or hide. The swords in this image are like the voices in our own minds, reminding us of our deepest fears and insecurities.
Exactly. The Ten of Swords is a card of confrontation, but also of surrender. It's a reminder that we can't escape our own shadows, but by facing them, we can begin to heal and transform. This image is not just about being laid low, but about being reborn.
That's so true, and I think that's why this card often appears in dreams that are both disturbing and transformative. It's a call to dive into the depths of our own psyche, to confront the darkness, and to emerge stronger and wiser on the other side.
The Ten of Swords is often associated with feelings of being overwhelmed and helpless, as if the weight of the world is crushing us. But what if we look at this card from a more poetic perspective? What if the Ten of Swords is actually a call to surrender and release the burdens we've been carrying?
I love that perspective, Kleo. It reminds me of the idea that sometimes we need to let go of our need to control in order to find freedom. But what about the emotional toll of carrying these burdens? How do we deal with the pain and the guilt that can come with feeling helpless?
That's a great question, Billy. In many indigenous cultures, the Ten of Swords is associated with the concept of shadow work. It's about confronting the parts of ourselves that we've been trying to hide or deny and integrating them into our wholeness. This can be a very painful process, but it's also a deeply liberating one.
I think that's what I love about this card. It's not just about being helpless, but about being human. We're all carrying around our own burdens, our own shadows, and sometimes the only way to move forward is to acknowledge them and start to let them go.
Exactly. And I think that's where the ceremonial aspect of this card comes in. The Ten of Swords is often associated with rituals of release, where we can symbolically let go of our burdens and start anew. It's a powerful reminder that we don't have to carry our pain alone.
That's a beautiful way to look at it, Kleo, and it makes me think of the idea that our burdens can be both a source of pain and a source of strength. It's not always easy to see, but sometimes our darkest moments can be the catalyst for our greatest growth.
In this moment, the Ten of Swords reveals to us the weight of our own choices. We're seeing the end result of a path that's been carefully crafted, yet ultimately led to our downfall. This is not just a physical collapse, but a symbolic one as well. We're looking at the fragments of our own psyche, the shards of our shattered dreams.
I think it's interesting how this card often appears when we're at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. It's as if the universe is whispering to us, this is not the way. But what does that whisper really mean? Is it a warning, a guidance, or something more?
For me, this card represents the need to confront our own shadow. We've been running from our deepest fears, our darkest desires, and now we're faced with the consequences. It's a call to integration, to bring our fragmented selves back together in a way that's authentic and whole.
I see it as a reminder that we are not alone in our struggles. The Ten of Swords is not just about the individual's experience, but also about the collective. We are part of a larger web of human experience, and our choices have ripples that affect those around us.
This card is also associated with the ancient Greek concept of hubris. We've been so focused on our own ambitions, our own desires, that we've forgotten the delicate balance of the world around us. It's a reminder to approach our goals with humility and reverence.
But what if this card is not just about failure, but about transformation? What if the Ten of Swords is not a warning, but a signal that we are on the cusp of something new, something more?
In the Ten of Swords, we see the weight of our burdens carried to the extreme. Our shoulders are bowed, our arms are outstretched, and our chests are heaving with exhaustion. This is the physical manifestation of the emotional toll that our burdens take on us.
I love how the Ten of Swords depicts the figure standing at the edge of a precipice, with the weight of their burdens threatening to topple them at any moment. It's as if they are teetering on the edge of collapse, and that's a really powerful image.
This card is also associated with feelings of isolation and disconnection. The figure is alone in their suffering, with no one to turn to for support or comfort. It's a reminder that we can't carry our burdens alone, and that we need to reach out for help when we need it most.
I think it's interesting that the Ten of Swords often shows up when we are feeling overwhelmed by our responsibilities. It's as if the universe is reminding us that we can't do it all alone, and that we need to be more mindful of our boundaries and our own needs.
This card can also be seen as a call to surrender and release. The figure is weighed down by their burdens, but by letting go, they can find freedom and release. It's a reminder that sometimes the best way to move forward is to let go of what's holding us back.
That's a really powerful message, especially in a world that often encourages us to keep pushing and striving. The Ten of Swords is a reminder that it's okay to slow down, to take a step back, and to ask for help when we need it. That's a truly liberating feeling.
The cards have spoken.
We'll see you at the next draw.